Good morning, lovely people. And obviously one of the neighbour's dogs is trying to say the same. It's a gorgeous morning. A little fresh, but the sun is shining on the mountain over there. And it's going to be a beautiful Saturday. Today's walk down by the lake. I wanted to go to the nut farm. Not much change in the colour of the trees. Plenty of squirrels out picking up the nuts. And unfortunately, small children chasing the ducks. This beach isn't called Pebble Beach for nothing. I'm trying not to trip as I'm holding the phone up. There's a small group of houses right here on the waterfront. It's a very enviable position to live in. Although I can't imagine how much their property taxes are every year. Sky high, I would imagine. Well, I got my hair cut at 9 o'clock this morning. It was super expensive, so I think I'll be doing it myself next time. We went out for a cup of tea and a date square, of course. And then we went to Costco. Very exciting. As I said yesterday, Costco is such an exciting errand on a Saturday. it was very busy, of course, and I did invest in a pair of Dutch ovens. They were such a good deal. How could I possibly resist? $80 for 2 Dutch ovens. And the one I bought before was also $80 on its own, and that was cheap. Sometimes they can be $300. So after Costco, we just had to pop into our favourite health food store to get some snacks for our travel next week. And then we went home, had a quick bite to eat, and then came out for a walk. It was glorious sunshine earlier, but now it's mostly clouded over, but it's still a really comfortable temperature, so that's good. Do love being by the lake. And it's evening time again. There was absolutely no dinner plan when we got back from our walk, and I sat there drinking my cup of tea and doing a bit some editing, and Mr. Stitches was just watching silly videos on YouTube on the TV, and then youngest kid comes out and looks expectantly at me, and I said, well, I'm not doing anything with the kitchen looking messy. So what had happened was I had run the dishwasher this morning, tidied up, we went out, came back, stuff had been left on the side to the left of the sink where the dirty stuff gets dumped, and no one had taken the initiative, emptied the dishwasher and put the dirty stuff in. So that had to be done first. I think that was a completely reasonable expectation. So after that, we decided that pizza would be a good idea because everyone loves pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? And we had all the ingredients for it. So said youngest son made the dough because that's like his thing. And I got busy cutting up toppings for it. Mr. Stitches made the pizza sauce for going on the top of the bread dough. And as usual, it was a cooperative effort, which is always nice, rather than just me being the one in the kitchen doing it all. It's always nice to be working together on a common goal. So that's all done with now. And I'm down in the sewing room just to go through a couple of things to talk about before I upload today's video. So this little pouch I made the other day, let's talk about that. So this little thing here, this little utility roll I made, Mr. Stitches wasn't that impressed with it. I'm not taking it personally, but he did say that his zipper pouch does work better. And also, I think he's a bit concerned that if he rolls it up with the bits and pieces inside and then stretches that elastic around to do it up, that the toothpaste tube's going to just bust out everywhere. Also, I suppose it wouldn't contain it either because it's open at both ends, not like the zipper pouch, which would actually maybe, if there was a leak, it would at least, in theory, catch it all and it wouldn't leak all over your bag, right? If you're carrying it around with you. So what I think I'm going to do is I might use this for something of mine, maybe. But what I will do first, before I call it 100% done, is I am going to add another snap here, because this bit of elastic here is big enough. I think I can get my pliers inside. I managed it with this section here. And I think, yeah, I can probably manage to get the plier in there and put another snap in. So that way, when it's rolled up, it doesn't have to be pulled as tight. So that's that. Oh, threw it at the table, didn't make it. Never mind. So what else did I want to tell you about? The Hoodiesaurus. Yes, you saw me unravel a couple of rows of this, maybe about 4 rows of this. And so what I have done is start knitting again. I picked up the stitches at the neck and got some knitting done on this today at the tea shop. So where that turquoise starts right there. That's where the hood starts. Yes, the hood. I was about to say the collar. No, the hood. So I've done about 1.5 inches of it, maybe. Yeah, I'd say that was 1.5 inches. And I have to do 6 3/4 inches. So I really do need to plug away at this, because I have a week now till my deadline. It's getting a little close. I will link the information about the pattern and the yarn in the description as usual. And now I have to retrieve that off the floor and try not to throw it and get it on the floor again. So the other day, I don't remember which day it was, but I was talking about Claudia at Crochet Luna. And I included a teeny little snip of me watching her video on my TV, because it's a smart TV. We don't have cable. We have YouTube, we have Netflix, we have BritBox. That's basically everything we watch. And so I was watching Claudia on there, and she was making a whole bunch of granny cowls. So these granny cowls she was using as stash busters, but they looked very fun, very colourful, and very simple to make. It's basically like a bandana cowl, in that it's around your neck and it's level at the top, but then I think it comes to a point at the front. And I did knit those bandana cowls either earlier this year or last year. I think it was probably earlier this year. I did knit some. Can't remember the name of the pattern now. But these ones look amazingly quick and easy. And I left a comment on her video, underneath her video, to say, oh, those look really fun. I think I need to make some. So after I left a comment on her blog, I went over to Ravelry to take a look at them. It's a paid pattern, which, you know, I do pay for some patterns. I paid for the Hoodiesaurus one. I paid for the Technicolor Dreamcoat one. But, you know, we all love a free pattern, don't we? And there's thousands of them on Ravelry. So I looked at it and I thought, I'll hold off on that. Maybe I can just make it up myself. Well, today I had a lovely surprise. Claudia gifted me the pattern on Ravelry, which means it goes straight into my Ravelry library. I can download it. So thank you so much, Claudia, if you're watching. I know you do watch. And I will be making that, but it probably won't be until after the coat and the hoodie are finished. Well, at least the hoodie. I'll need to finish the hoodie. I'll need to have my holiday. And then when I'm back, the Technicolor Dreamcoat is still going to be my couch project, but maybe this granny square cowl can be my portable project. Now, I can't remember the exact name of it, so I will look it up. I'll put a little blurb on the screen, and I'll also link it underneath too, so you can go check that out yourself. So you already know that I follow, or have followed, Ali at Little Drops of Wonderful and This Little Wonderful Life for a really long time. And I love watching her videos, and I have a couple of things that she sent me before. I've got, what do you call that? I have this from her. I won a I won a vlog prize with some yarn once. This probably came with that. And also I've got a couple of pins, which says, "You're a Little Drop of Wonderful," a couple of stickers, one of which is on my sewing machine. I don't know if you've noticed it before. And so I really like watching her vlogs. I know she's doing Vlogtober. Now, I know Vlogtober can be a bit of a deluge, can't it? If you are just a regular watcher, there's a limit to how much of them you can follow and watch every day, because there's a lot of us doing Vlogtober, and I understand that. But if you're also a content creator, you're making videos as well as wanting to watch them, that's even less time to actually keep up with the people you want to keep up. So sometimes you have to kind of watch every second or third one instead of every one, because it's just not doable sometimes. But Ali's channel, This Little Wonderful Life, she is doing Vlogtober, and she usually does every day. And I'm also watching So Raimi. I don't know if you've heard of her. It's Rachel. She's in Scotland. And So Raimi, Sewrayme, is her channel and also her business. She makes beautiful stuff. She sews project bags out of gorgeous fabrics. I was just watching the video she put out today. And she makes beautiful bags. And she also does a lot of crafting for herself. She's doing a granny square blanket right now. And she knits and she gardens. She has such green fingers, or a green thumb, depending on your neck of the woods. And so her garden always looks amazing. She does a lot of baking, and I love her aesthetic, right? She's unlike me, who has kind of a messy house, and it's very dated and it's not very fancy. Her house is really homey and attractively decorated, very tastefully decorated, and very lovely. And obviously she has a way with decor that I do not have. And so when she has her breakfast, it just all looks so beautifully presented, unlike mine. So if you don't know of her, or if you haven't watched her videos before, go check her out. You might enjoy that. Now, I forgot to check the name of the commenter before I turned on my phone to record. But I had a comment asking what I make out of my t-shirt yarn. Let me just grab it. So yesterday I started cutting loops of t-shirts, which I will then join up. I just cut them 1 inch wide, 1 inches. I cut them 1 inch wide, and I will join them up just by looping them through each other and make a big ball of t-shirt yarn. And yes, thank you for asking me what I was going to do with them, because I'm happy to share what I'm going to do with them. So they crochet up really nicely. It's stretchy, it's quite comfortable to crochet with, and you just have to use a nice big hook. So it grows quick, right? It's perfect. So let me just show you a couple of things I've made before. This is full of stuff, yarn of course, but here's one I made with actually not t-shirt yarn, but fabric. Admittedly, this was not a t-shirt. This was actual jersey knit fabric that I had bought for really cheap, really cheap. When it went on sale or on clearance at Fabricland, I bought this. It was like $3 a meter, and I bought far too much of it. I did end up making a skirt and some pajama pants out of the orange, and a skirt out of the green. I can't remember what else I made, but there was so much of it that I ended up cutting it up and crocheting it into a basket like this. And they're really easy. You just start at the bottom, you make a flat circle, and then you turn the corner, stop increasing, and just keep on going till it's big enough. So this one, yep, it's just a basket. It doesn't have any handles. Very handy. And then this one over here, which is bigger and heavier yet, is pretty much made of the same thing. You might see the same fabrics right there. And so it looks like I used an even bigger hook with that. But I also used the idea, sorry, I think I'm hitting my microphone. I used the idea of, I think I had seen a pattern by Tony of TL Yarn Crafts, where she'd made a basket and done this stitch. Every couple of stitches you work down into the row below, like not into the top of the stitch but lower, and it makes almost a ribbed effect, and it's very sturdy. It stands up much more easily than just regular crochet. Just love those baskets. And then also these are kind of a bag basket. This is just multiple strands of yarn, but you could definitely do one of these with t-shirt yarn. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do. Again, you just start down at the bottom. You keep on going with a flat circle with your regular increases. Sometimes what I do is I will work into the back loop of a round of the stitches, and it turns the corner quite neatly. I don't think I did that with this one. It looks like I just stopped increasing when I thought it was big enough, and that's got lots of fabric scraps in it. And then this one is pretty much the same. Stand back a bit so you can see it better. This one's even bigger. And this one, oh yeah, this one started with an oval base, and it's a bit of a weird shape. And then also I did a crab stitch around the top, which is a reverse single crochet. Or I guess it would be a reverse double crochet if you're in the UK and using UK terms. So that also has a whole bunch of scraps in it. I'm sure I've made a lot more than those 4, but I think those are the only ones I still own. Oh, and you know, this is the same principle, just on a very much smaller. Does that make sense? Let's just call it a much smaller scale. So this is the same sort of idea. Got a little crochet hedgehog in there. So you just start in the middle with a magic ring or a small amount of chains and join in the round, and then do a flat circle, and then when it's big enough you just start going straight. I put a little hole in the edge of that one. Looks like that's where I joined some yarn. So I love making scrappy things like this. And that usually happens when I look at some yarn I've got and think, I'm fed up of seeing that in my sewing room. I'm going to get rid of it. So let's put the little doohickeys back in here. I've got a little ice cream cone and some other weird thing, and this was these little things were just random little characters I was making while I was waiting for Mr. Stitches when he was having his radiation treatments back in the spring. I also have a few more here. I don't know if I've shown them all off, because at one point I had a couple just sitting around in my in my tiny little pouch that I was using to hold the yarn and the hook. And then there was a bigger one. And these things, I didn't know what they were going to be until they were on the hook. I would just start crocheting, and then it would grow on the hook. And then I thought, oh, it looks like this, or it looks like that. And maybe I'll put a face on it, or whatever. Just fun stuff. So now you know. That's what t-shirt yarn is good for. I'm sure it's good for a bunch of other things as well. I wouldn't use it to make something to wear, though, because it would probably be pretty stiff. And I wouldn't make a hat with it, because it probably wouldn't be very warm either. So you know how when you come out of the hairdressers, your hair looks a certain way and it'll never look the same again, right? So she did something nice with it this morning, but it probably already got messed up, kind of sticking up back here. So as soon as I shower, it's going to be done in a different way probably, and just be back to looking like, you know, it did a few weeks back. At least it's all nice and short over my ears. As soon as it starts to come over the ear, like even the tiniest bit, I'm like, I need to trim it. And when you have really short hair, you also have to shave your neck every now and again, because otherwise you can see the fuzzies happening back here. But apart from that, it's quite low maintenance. So that's it for today. Thanks for being here with me. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had an awesome day. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.